joining me here in person on the Rich Eisen Show is none other than two-time Super Bowl champion, Super Bowl MVP, and Hall of Fame finalist for a Canton class of 2016, Terrell Davis. Good to see you, sir.
You have David Bruton in the background with number 30 on, so I thought you guys may have...
No.
You didn't mess that up, did you?
No.
Okay.
I mean, no. To me, there's only one number 30. When are they going to take care of that, TD?
That's okay. That's okay. He's representing it. He's keeping the 30 alive.
Well, you understand that I'm on the squeaky wheel that gets the grease.
Yeah.
That
Keep doing it, man.
For many, many years at the Combine, when they would show in Indianapolis the Ring of Honor, and Harbaugh's there, Dickerson's there, and Marshall Faulk was sitting next to me. I'm like, where's your number, Marshall?
That's right.
Guess what happened 2 years ago?
He got up there.
Yeah.
Because of you.
Yeah. In New England 2 years ago, Willie McGinnis, we're sitting there. Ty Law's got a red jacket on.
Yes.
Okay?
Yep.
Teddy Bruschi has a red jacket on. Willie
And then what
McGinnis had no
happens?
red jacket. I said, Willie, what's up with that? On a broadcast from the NFL Network. Guess what happened this past year?
He's got his red jacket.
He's got his red jacket. Now, I'm not
You're not saying, you're just saying.
just saying. I'm not saying.
It's just like you, Rich.
I'm just saying.
Just like you.
I know. And you deserve, I'll say it, you deserve enshrinement, sir.
Thank you.
You deserve enshrinement
Thank
this
you.
Saturday.
Thank
I
you.
hope that we hear your name.
Thank you.
It would give me immense pleasure to hear that.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
would it mean to you, TD?
I would be excited, man. I would be. I mean, it's been 10 years, and I think 3 years ago, and prior to that, I kind of downplayed it. You know me. When we talk about it, I swept it aside and not talked about it.
It's kind of like Fight Club. You shouldn't talk about it.
Right.
And even asking you what it would mean to you is sort of a break of protocol.
Yeah,
in a way.
but Rich, I've learned to embrace it now, and because I'm in a special class, even if I'm not enshrined this year, to be a finalist for the Hall of Fame in itself. Not many people can say that they've been a finalist for the Hall of Fame.
Sure.
And there's really nothing I can do about it at this point, but just, probably try to keep a positive attitude, enjoy it, and, if people want to ask me about it, I'll talk about it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, everybody will say that the Super Bowls don't happen for the Broncos if it wasn't for you. They say that all the time. I hear it from everybody. I've heard it from Rod Smith. I've heard it from Elway.
Right.
I've heard it from absolutely everybody. What was it like from your perspective coming into that mix, not being the heralded running back that you became, with Elway still searching for that ring? What was that like from your shoes?
Well, when I came in as a rookie, I was just trying to make the team. And so when I started to establish myself as, I guess, a household name, then it became, okay, how can we take it to the next level? And of course, John was always there in the forefront because he had gone to 3 Super Bowls and hadn't won one. And so you kind of felt like you wanted to try to win one for him. And we had a good team. We had a team that had, Hall of Fame players in Shannon Sharp. We had Gary Zimmerman, who was a left tackle. And of course, we had a Hall of Fame quarterback in John. And then we had great pieces, Rod Smith, Ed McCaffrey. We just had a collection of talented individuals who knew their roles. And our defense was pretty good. I mean, people don't give them a lot of credit, but
Right.
we had a pretty good defense with Neil Smith on that side, and Alfred Williams, and Steve Atwater, Ray
He's a
Crockett.
finalist also.
Yes,
Atwater.
Steve Atwater. Yes, he is. Yeah, and he should have been in a long time ago, and so he's not in. But I'm rooting for him as well.
Well, you made your bones first on special teams, right?
I did.
That's where you first
did.
came in, and Shanahan's just like, you go on special teams. Is that how?
Well, you come in as a 6th-round draft pick. You don't have many
That's
options.
right.
You're not sitting there getting all the first-team reps.
What number were you in the 6th round?
I was 196th pick overall.
So 3 before the vaunted Brady
Yes.
position of 199.
Yeah.
So 6th round, 196.
Yes.
And you come out of Georgia, out of a backfield with Hines Ward in it too, right?
Yeah, Hines Ward was the halfback, and they put me at fullback.
So you were
Because
blocking for Hines?
I was blocking for Hines Ward because I had gotten hurt my senior year and missed 6 games. And during that time, Hines was a freshman, so they put him in. And Hines was an exceptional athlete,
Right.
quarterback, receiver, running back. So they put him in as a starting running back. And then when I got back healthy, they wanted to put their 2 best backs in. And so me being the bigger back, they put me at fullback.
Right. And then how did you get to Georgia? This is a good
Ooh,
story
man, you
too,
wanna go-
right?
yeah.
I want to go there too, because George Allen was a coach of yours at some point in time?
At Long Beach State, I was recruited by Long Beach State. I actually walked onto Long Beach. George Allen was a first-year coach in 1990. He came and accepted a job at Long Beach State as the head coach. So my brother was at Long Beach State at the time, and I only had maybe 2 other offers outside of that. And they said, well, come here, we'll see how you do. We'll give you a scholarship if you play, you have to kind of earn it. And so I went to Long Beach State, and I guess in practice, I looked pretty good. And so, played well. They actually wanted to go ahead and take me off my redshirt year and sort of put me on the active roster. But my running backs coach fought against it. And so he was impressed, and he liked me a lot. And so, unfortunately, after that year, though, George Allen passed away. He caught pneumonia, and this is a real story, man. We won our last game of the year, and Long Beach State is probably 6-5. Not a major season, but you know what? For Long Beach State, it's pretty good. So we doused him with water. I didn't douse him, but he was doused with water and caught pneumonia. And all of a sudden, I'm at home watching the bowl games, and a special alert comes on TV and announces that George Allen's died from pneumonia. And I'm like, what is going on?
From a celebratory dump of water?
Yeah.
Wow.
That happened, man. So it was crazy because when we got back to school, there were rumors about Long Beach State dropping the program. But we kept it, and Willie Brown was our defensive backs coach. He became the interim head coach for Long Beach State for 1 year. And then I played that year, and that was the only year, my redshirt freshman year. I started as a freshman, and actually I broke my ankle. Rich, this is crazy. I broke my ankle in training camp. And so I missed 5 games. I came back and played in, I don't know how many games, 4 or 5 games, and I broke my other ankle. And so that was it. That was it. And so then after that, after the season's over with, we get a phone call that we're having a meeting, and at the meeting they announced we're going to drop the program. No more football at Long Beach State. So everybody's searching, like, where are you going to go? What are we going to do at this point? And I get one call from UCLA. They want to take a look at me, and they want to bring me in, but they didn't want to give me a scholarship at the time. I said, I'm not going through that again. I've already earned one. I'm not going to drop this one, walk on to UCLA, and have to earn another one. And then I had Hawaii was the other school. Hawaii.
I mean, how many time zones apart are we here? Right, one or the other. Georgia and Hawaii.
Well, Georgia hadn't contacted me yet.
So how did Georgia get in contact with you?
So I had made my trip. I was about to fly to Hawaii. Had it all planned out, go to Hawaii. I'd already taken an unofficial visit to UCLA. So Hawaii was my next trip. I was going to go to Hawaii, and chances are Hawaii would have been the school because UCLA wasn't going to offer me a scholarship. And so as we're planning this trip to Hawaii, I get a call left on my voicemail, and it's from a guy named Bob Pittard. And he says, I'm a recruit for the University of Georgia. Georgia? Kind of.
Yeah, where did that come from?
out of nowhere. So I called him back, and we talked. And he said, well, listen, once again, we can't promise you a scholarship, but bring some film with you, and we'll take a look at it, but we'll bring you in on a visit. I flew to Georgia. I forget Hawaii. I'm going to Georgia.
Yeah.
So I wanted to go kick the tires on this. Flew to Georgia, and I loved it, man. I mean, as soon as I hit the ground, it just felt different.
And then you go there. And so I'm here with Terrell Davis here on the Rich Eisen Show. We only have a few minutes left. It's incredible. I love this story. I've known a little bit of it. I've heard pieces of it, us hanging out at NFL Network. Never told like this. Do you ever look back and just wonder how many things needed to happen for you to get to a spot with John Elway in Denver and have your opportunity that closed faster than you even could imagine? That leads you to be a finalist for the Hall of Fame?
All the time, Rich. And that's why people always, they ask me, would I change anything about my career? Absolutely not. Because like you said, if one thing didn't go right, with all the things that had to happen and to go right, I may not be sitting right here today. And the path that I took made me the player that I was. And I needed all that experience, all that, whether it was life lessons or whatever it was, I needed that to become the player that I ultimately became. Mm-hmm. And so I don't regret. I don't ever say I wish it was differently. I love the path that I took. It just made for me appreciating more when I got to that level.
And the segment beginning with you giving the Hunt Trophy to Pat Bowen's wife, how badly? Because I could heard it in your voice how what it meant for you to be able to do that in Denver in front of those fans. How badly does Elway want to lift the trophy and say this one's for Pat?
For Pat, you know what, Rich? That would be because Pat did that for John, and I said, how perfect of an ending would that be? I mean, not only would Peyton Manning go out on top, but John would be able to hoist the trophy and say, this one's for Pat. You know, and so that's one of the storylines that's not been talked about a lot. And the human element to this game, when you look at it, is you factor those things into it. It would be outstanding, man. It would be, I don't know emotionally how it would feel, because I know it would be something that I probably rarely felt, maybe in the birth of my kids, but I think it would be on that level.
What do you think happens? What do you think? I mean, how does it play out?
That's a great question. People are not giving Denver a chance right now.
No, you're hearing that.
They're not.
Because they don't think Peyton could go point for point with Cam.
And
think about how crazy that is based on his career. Think about that.
That is true. That is true. And I mean, but I think there's a few things, because you got to build an argument for Denver and say, okay, why do you think they can win this game? The human element I just talked about. I've been there, Rich, where for 2 weeks straight, the media, everybody said we had no chance.
Against Green Bay.
Couldn't beat them. Brett Favre, that team was the hottest team. Reggie White on defense.
They just won.
You cannot beat that team.
They were going to repeat.
Exactly. They'd already won it. So I've been there before. And I know when people tell you what you can't do, how it changes players, how it changes a team. But then the facts, here's a fact, their defense is pretty good.
Yeah.
Their defense is pretty good. So their defense has allowed this team to play in gritty games all year long. And in games that people said they couldn't win, they were able to keep it close and make plays at the end. And their offenses, obviously, they've struggled this entire year, but they play well off that defense. And they don't put their defense in a bad situation. So in a game like this, I think if you can get the same stat line that Peyton had last week, all right, 2 touchdowns, 0 picks, I think that's a pretty good stat line. I think that can get the job done, and the defense has to get a takeaway or two.
Terrell Davis, thank you for coming on.
Seriously,
you came off the field from Denver and went right on NFL Network. You were one of the first guys to do that. So I've known you for a very long time. You were sitting next to me when I asked, how fast do you think I can run the 40? You laughed. That's now the logo of my show, for crying out loud.
That's good.
Hearing your name Saturday would give me so much pleasure. And if I don't hear it, I'll be there for you every single year.
Thank you, Rich. Appreciate it.
You were really the best.
All right, thanks, brother.
Thanks. That's Terrell Davis right here. Hall of Famer from last year, Tim Brown, is checking in right now.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern. On Audience.